Hi, and welcome back to the Health Bar. Thank you, everyone who's been watching and subscribing and supporting us. This has been such an amazing thing that we're doing, and I really appreciate everyone kind of getting involved. It's been really, really exciting, and as I say, I really appreciate it. If you don't know who we are and what we do, my name is Love Mitt. People call me Mitt or Mitty. And we are a podcast all about mental health within gaming, and that is the good and the bad. I want to showcase to people that gaming is sometimes fantastic for your mental health, but also as well can be the other side and can be the cause of your mental health and anxiety issues, etc. So this is what the podcast is all about, and you can obviously see the variety of people we've had on the podcast over the last 25 episodes, maybe 24, can't remember what we're on now. So yes, so I do massively appreciate everyone watching, and obviously, you know, with the comments and that as well, which has been great. So I start the week off always with my own mental health. My mental health for this week is on a positive note again. Sun's out, which is great. I'm actually there's just lots of plans that are kind of going into coming into kind of, we're planning a lot more obviously what we're going to be doing in the next year or 2 years. So that's obviously me and my partner and the little one, and I speak about her a lot on the podcast, and obviously my little one as well, and obviously the dog, don't forget the dog. So yeah, we've got a lot of things that are happening, and hopefully in the next couple of years we're going to be where we want to be, which is always exciting. So yeah, my mental health for this week's been in a positive, which is great. Okay, we try and always talk about some gaming news, but when I mean gaming news, I mean mental health within gaming news, and it is always quite hard to find, and it's always quite hard to find a nice balanced kind of side, the good and the bad. There's an article that I just stumbled upon actually a little while ago, and it is about kind of experts are betting on games to fix mental health. And it's just an article really, and it's like a handful of research suggest that video games can be effective. We kind of know that, and we've spoke to about that a lot, and I think the article is very good. It just I believe it's always in moderation, you know, and I think people will understand that as well. And you know yourself of, you know, if you're gaming too much, and if you are gaming too much, what are the reasons, and obviously bring that back and talk to people about it. So yeah, I always think gaming is a very, very good, but in moderation. And I think we learn that from a young age as well. You know, teaching the little ones as well, and the kind of young kind of generation, you know, it is in moderation. You know, you can play, of course, because it's great for, you know, we know it's great for a lot of things, especially Minecraft for juniors. It's fantastic, you know. So anyway, I'll put that article down in the description, the comments, wherever you're kind of watching or listening to this, so you obviously can read the rest of that article. So we're actually really excited about today's, because today's guest actually found me through Twitter, not Twitter, it's a total lie, it's through TikTok. And we've only recently started doing a bit of TikTok just to kind of spread the word a little bit more of what we are doing. So it was really nice to kind of someone to obviously reach out and speak to us, and then obviously decided they wanted to come on, which is awesome. So here we are. So their name is BipolarCola, which I absolutely love. And let's introduce them, and they can obviously introduce themselves, and we can kind of go from there. So welcome.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me.
No worries. How are you? You good today?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good.
Excellent. So I mentioned that obviously you found us through TikTok and wanted to come on, which is amazing. So introduce your kind of self, I suppose, who you are, obviously the name, where the name come from maybe, and then also a little bit about your kind of gaming background and history.
Yeah, sure. So I'm BipolarCola. Honestly, how it originated was just I woke up one morning, thought I'm going to start streaming. I've always wanted to. I'm a teacher by day.
Okay, amazing.
So I teach special needs children.
Oh, fantastic.
So ranging from sort of 7-year-olds up until sort of 16-year-olds.
Yep.
I sort of fell into teaching. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I never really wanted to be a teacher. I went to university again. So I went to uni and just sort of come out of it, and then sort of landed a role as a teaching assistant.
Okay.
And then sort of loved working in schools. Just sort of like, it's going to sound a bit weird, but like being around children and just like the relationships that you can form with children, and just being that sort of person that they can go to, because a lot of children at the moment, especially with sort of what's going on with COVID and everything, have felt sort of alone and that they couldn't speak to anyone. So I've always sort of put myself out there for any, not only ones that I teach, but also just at school. I just want to be someone that, you know, that they could reach out to if they ever needed to. But
that's amazing.
Going off track.
No.
I've always wanted to stream, and I've always thought that if, with being a teacher, it's a very sort of difficult thing to do, because you don't want sort of cross any boundaries. But I kind of woke up not long ago, about a month ago, and just thought, sod it, I'm gonna do it.
Nice.
So BipolarCola, I literally just woke up one morning and thought, right, because I am bipolar, so I was recently diagnosed it.
Okay.
I'd say over a year ago.
Right. Okay.
I've suffered with sort of depression, anxiety, panic disorder. For sort of half of my life, from about 16.
Wow.
So I just woke up and thought, right, bipolar, that's going to be like my focus. I know there's a real focus on sort of men's mental health.
Yes.
As well. Obviously, all mental health is
of
important.
Course. Yeah.
Just men, but I just thought, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to just sort of be for just men. I want sort of anyone with sort of mental health issues to be able to sort of relate to it. So it was literally just bipolar, what rhymes with bipolar. Polar.
Amazing.
Just matched. Like, I said it to my partner, thinking that she was going to laugh at me, but she went, "Do you know what? That's actually really funny. It's really good.
I like it. I think it works really well. I do."
And then I sort of thinking sort of like marketing wise, like, oh, how can I need like a logo or an image. So I thought cola bottle. So I thought, right, I'm going to do half and half. One sort of happy, one sad. Amazing. I know it's very generalised for bipolar, but
it's great though. It works, you know.
It just sort of like came together, and I don't really know how. It's just in the back of my mind for a long time, but
awesome.
Yeah, it just sort of all came together nicely.
Amazing.
So gaming history is the next thing.
Yeah, gaming history. Yeah.
Gaming history. So I'm very much like a first-person shooter. So I've always loved Call of Duty.
Yes.
Growing up, I was like mad into wrestling. So I used to get WWE games every single year without fail.
Nice.
I love those. But I suppose I've grown up really with Call of Duty. So like when Call of Duty 4, the first sort of Modern Warfare,
hit,
it was difficult because it was like exam season.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I was getting on a lot with friends. Even people I sort of played with people in my year at school who I didn't really know. Yeah. But because they had an Xbox, because they had Call of Duty, everyone kind of just got on the train and they all sort of came together. But first person shooters really is my sort of favourite. Then I went to uni and I tended to get more into sort of PC gaming. Say PC gaming. Football Manager. Like, I can spend hours, days on Football Manager.
You can get lost in them for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I just, especially like before baby, it was just I could go on with the intention of going on for an hour, and I've been on for like 4 hours. I don't know where the day's gone.
Yep.
Just immerse yourself in it so much. Yeah. But I think that's like the beauty of gaming. Like, I know for those people who don't game, it's quite difficult to understand.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So like, I've been with partners in the past who just didn't get it at all.
Yep.
And I love nothing more than like a Saturday was always my day. So a Saturday, I wouldn't really go out as much and
Yeah.
socialise. I'm quite a sort of introverted person,
Yep.
but it's just that escape. So
Yeah.
if you've had a really tough week at work, or if you've got things going on with family, friends, whatever,
Yeah.
that escape,
Definitely.
that definitely like came to the forefront with COVID.
Oh my God, yeah.
I just think with everything going on, I was still in work. I was at school, but I was sort of not in every single day, but it was like rotated. So we'd go in, but I was traveling quite far for work, so it's about an hour and a half.
Oh wow, that's wow.
So that particular time period, I was struggling with my mental health massively.
Yeah.
Traveling somewhere you don't particularly want to go.
Yeah, of course.
But it felt once you were there, it's fine.
Yeah.
You sort of lose yourself in, speaking to the kids and
of course
teaching, and you just sort of get straight back into it. But then it was, an hour and a half drive home.
Yeah.
And it's sort of as sad as it is, the Xbox was, you'd get back and you think, oh yes, the Xbox.
It is though. I think that is such a big thing, and I think you are right over COVID as well, and also as well for yourself. It sounds like that whole hour and a half, like you're talking 3 hour trip, like round trip, is that, and if you're kind of like with me with my like anxiety and like that type of thing, is that I'd build that up. So all of a sudden I'd build it up and I'd be like literally an hour and a half of just thinking like the worst. And the anxiety would build up, and then you get there and it's okay, and then, and then obviously you've got that on the way home as well, and that's just got to be so hard.
Yeah, it's just you can try and get as many like podcasts and play as you like, but my worst sort of nightmare and my own downfall is when I've got that alone time.
Yeah.
And my brain is just going a million miles an hour thinking about everything and anything.
Yeah, definitely.
But that again, as sort of sad as it sounds, as soon as that headset goes on and the Xbox is on, that's it. I'm focused.
Yeah.
And it's, I've had to obviously sort of dial that down, growing up, and I haven't started a family, your priorities change. I do still try, obviously with the streaming, I try and get sort of 2 hours a day. Yeah. Which is a massive sort of decrease from what I was doing before.
Yeah.
I think the big thing is with sort of mental health is just when people have that time alone, it can be the worst possible thing, especially like the drive home, like I said, an hour and a half.
Yeah,
if I'm thinking about everything that can go wrong when I get home, everything that's gone wrong throughout the day, it just bottles up. And I think at the time as well, I'd not long come out of quite a toxic relationship as well, so
that doesn't help. Yes,
it was very men don't show feelings, men don't show anything. Men are strong, the old toxic masculinity.
Exactly.
Whereas now, my partner, I'm very open with my partner.
Amazing.
She's very understanding. She's the one that sort of pushed for my bipolar diagnosis. So
that's amazing. I think when you find someone like, and it is, I think everyone has probably in their mental health kind of life or span or whatever they're going through, I always think you're definitely going to find people that are toxic about it, but then also as well, you're going to find these people that are absolutely like amazing, and your lifelines is the kind of way I look at it. And mine was very similar with my missus. She's phenomenal. Like, helped me, like, when I couldn't get out of bed, she kind of helped me get out of bed. She opened the curtains and like literally like, come on, let's get in the shower. And and it always makes me laugh, because when you talk to people about this that have never had any issues, They're like, what do you mean you can't get out of bed? What do you mean you can't get showered? Like, what do you like? It's easy, and it's like you just don't like. It is the hardest possible thing in the world, and it sounds so crazy saying it out loud, but at sometimes you can't do it. You can't.
I think what's really difficult as well, it's exactly the same with me. There were times where I could not get out of bed.
Yeah.
Having panic attacks through the night. I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
And as simple as something as just getting up and going to a shower.
Yeah.
What, like you said, people don't understand is before you've even woke up and had time to adjust to the morning, you've already gone through a war.
Yes, exactly.
And it's that sort of inner war with yourself, which is the worst thing.
Yeah.
And it does take a long time to get used to that. It takes a long time to build your strategies that you've got. And I just think, like we said earlier, about having that someone who does understand you and does want to help you is crucial, because when you're in that situation, you're with toxic people that are not good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, you're only going to stay at rock bottom.
Yeah, because it seems the silliest thing, but it is. If someone, and again, some of these people, they are toxic, but they kind of, some people don't obviously mean to be toxic, but
yeah,
it is sometimes what they say. And the little thing, especially if someone's going through something quite a lot, these little comments or that, to anyone else that's not going through anything, could be absolutely fine, no issues at all, and it's fine, it's a bit of a joke or a laugh or whatever it is. If you're going through something at that time, that little comment could be the worst thing in the whole entire world, and that could literally set you back months.
Yeah.
The
one that always gets me, and I absolutely hate this, is man up.
Oh, do you know what? I'm the same. I am so the same.
The trouble is as well, I'm quite a stubborn person, so if someone says something like that and says man up to me, it's gonna get backlash. Like, I don't know what people expect you to do, or like how you're gonna react by saying man. Like,
exactly.
We just need to sort of get rid of that phrase, because I know sort of the sentiment behind it, and I know what they mean. Just,
of course,
get on with it. But at that, like you said, at that point when there's certain like triggers and things that you hear that can just set you back, and you might be ready to kind of take that first step, but then you hear stuff like that, and it's like, no, that's me done. So.
Exactly. No, it's really interesting. I'm the same. That phrase is really weird, and I was really the same with that. And again, I was, and again, I don't think it's anyone's fault. Like back in, as in like our parents, our grandparents, like our great grandparents. There's no fault in it, because it just wasn't around. And if it was around, and I had this on someone else's, someone spoke to us last few weeks back actually now, about kind of if you spoke about someone who had any kind of mental health issues, you, even if you're going back like 20 years, you'd expect someone to be in what they call it the loony bin, or they'd have to go to like be sectioned or something like that. And and that was just for as simple as having like a mental health breakdown or anxiety. That's the pocket you would be put in. So like, I never, like, anyone's kind of parents and grandparents and anything like that, like, it was never their fault at all,
No.
And that's kind of where a lot of these kind of things come from. It's just the way they were brought up, and then we were brought up, and so on and so forth. And it's just now that this time everyone is starting to be a little bit happier about talking about it, even though it's still a massive stigma, especially for guys, as you said before. It's still a massive stigma about it. And but yeah, that's that phrase does get me. So I get you on that one. I really do.
A lot as well. So a lot of being a teacher, so a history teacher, like predominantly.
Yeah.
So we go back and we look at like the First World War, and we look at like blokes, not much older than the kids I'm teaching, who would go to war and just witness absolutely horrendous things.
Yeah.
And obviously we know a bit more about it now. We know about PTSD.
Exactly.
And like that. At the time, like you said, the whole loony bin thing, it was, they served their countries.
Yep.
And came back, a shell
different
of a
people.
person.
Yeah, exactly.
He's suffering from shell shock, and
Hmm.
how do you come back to normal society after seeing your friends being blown up?
Yeah, exactly.
I think, yeah, like you said though, about 20 years ago. So I think there's a lot of things that now in society we are starting to recognise. Like a big thing is mental health.
Yeah.
Then also things like um, sort of disabilities and learning disabilities. So
Yes.
things like if you're dyslexic or you're autistic,
Yep.
people just used to think you were weird or you were thick.
Yep.
And that's even when I was at school, that was still the
Well,
case.
it is. It's very true. You say I'm dyslexic, and I got found that I was dyslexic quite late. And again, it was that thing of, it's the same thing. You get, the Mickey taken out of you because you're reading with like an orange or a pink plastic sheet over your book or something, or
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. And it was, people just didn't understand what was going, and they were like, a lot of people thought I was just doing it to get extra time in exams, and I was like, I don't want to be sitting in this exam any longer than I have to be, so why would I want to be in there more? It was people just didn't get it. And and again, they are starting to now, which is fantastic. And the world is slightly changing, and obviously into a better place with regards to disabilities and mental health. 100%. It just, people just need to start talking about it more, and the understanding. It's always that thing, knowledge is king. And yeah, that's a big thing for me, is and the same with gaming. Like, I always say that I know loads of people think that gaming's bad for your mental health, and there's loads of things going on in the news with regards to kind of actions in computer games. There's obviously, I'm sure there's a thing called teabagging in computer games, and and the people are now calling that a sexual assault. And but I think a lot of the people that are doing that are the people that actually aren't playing the games and are not educated in gaming, and it's someone's parent or guardian or someone like that that's then kind of gone forward and so forth, and it's just got out of hand, in my opinion. I know obviously there is a lot on that, but and I think people need to educate. We need to be educated about computer games, especially for the youngsters that are playing. If you're watching, so my nephews are playing like Minecraft and Roblox and all that kind of stuff. I think for my brother-in-law, my sister, like, I sometimes have to educate them on what these games are, and actually they're not just a game. Like, Minecraft is great for like building and architects, and there's lots of, obviously, I'm not saying that that's the way forward, but there are things about it that can help.
I think it's so, in particular, like Minecraft and things like that are fantastic. I've worked in schools where they've used that as not only sort of like for the building aspect, but also for the social aspect. If you put, say, 4 very autistic children together, same server, they've all got their own space, and then certain things start to go wrong, it's fantastic for problem solving and stuff like that. It can go wrong,
of course,
they can fall out, but
there
is in any sort of part of life. But I think things like I can't really judge here, but things like GTA. It was always, when I was growing up, that if you play GTA, you're going to go around, you're going to kill people, steal cars and beat people up for money and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, I used to play Grand Theft Auto when I was obviously younger than the age. My parents were quite open with stuff like that. They obviously knew what the game was, but they knew that I wasn't going to go and do those bad things in real life.
Yeah, of course.
I was monitored, but I think there are a lot of things at the moment, I'm witnessing it in schools, that children are starting to copy certain things from games.
Right, okay, that's interesting.
I don't know if it's because of like a lack of education in gaming, like you said. I know that I've had to do a lot of work with my brother as well, because my nephew plays Fortnite a lot. He wasn't really into gaming when he grew up, so he doesn't understand it. But that sort of hour or half an hour that I have with my nephew online is the time that I have with him when I'm not seeing him. So it can be good, it can be bad.
Yeah, of course.
But like you said, I think it is a lot of it about education. And having people monitor it properly.
Definitely.
Because it does have the potential. I know that.
Of
See,
course.
Roblox, I'm not too familiar with Roblox. I kind of missed out the whole Roblox
Yeah.
hype. But I know that there are certain things on Roblox where people are sort of talking to children and
Yep. It is.
some
It's
aspect.
massive. It is. You're 100% right. The same with like any of these things. Like you can kind of, and Fortnite's like a big one. Like, and I used to play Fortnite a lot, and you know, you can obviously like turn the voice controls off and all that kind of stuff and still play, and it's fine. But then I think when the kids are getting older, I think their friends are doing it, so then they're going to do it, and they're going to not tell their parents that they've done it, and then and it's the same I think with Roblox and Minecraft and all that. There are these settings, but again, it's that education of to the parents or to the guardians or whoever are looking after the kids that are doing it is these settings are there and they're there to be protected. Or if you are a gamer from many years ago, like, or even if you're not, I still think like, with my little one, it's going to be different. When he grows up, I'll be playing with him, and that's the way I would look at it. I'll be teaching him like what's right, what's wrong, because I'll play with him, and I think that's I think what parents should do is take out. And I know it's very hard, and I understand people are very busy, but take half an hour out and play one game of Fortnite with your little one, or or even don't play it, but put a joint headset on, or have it loud so they're not even got a headset on, so you can hear what's going on and understand the game. And if you do that once a week, then within like half a year, you're going to understand the whole game. It is. I truly think education, like within gaming, is a big thing, and it's a big thing that isn't happening, and I don't know a way around it, because there's going to be a lot of people that would be against it. So it's a hard one. It is a really hard one. Going back to kind of, just because I'm very, very interested and very intrigued. You say you only got diagnosed around, you say, a year ago.
Yes, it was about a year ago.
So that's a late
During COVID.
diagnosis.
Yeah, so my sort of mental health history has been I've had counselling. So when I was at uni, counselling.
Yeah.
Doctors kind of said, "Oh, yeah, you've got depression."
Yeah.
Um, again, I think although it was like a decade ago, it's I feel like doctors then were very much, okay, you've got depression, right? Here's antidepressants,
and we'll see you in 6 months' time. Yeah.
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 Which for people who, like I was at the time, who are at absolute rock bottom, extremely suicidal, just in the worst possible place you could imagine.
Yeah.
A doctor saying to you, right, here's some tablets that aren't really going to work for a good 6 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Get on with it. So my uni were very good that they gave me counselling.
Amazing.
It just happened to be that it was like at the very end of my university day. So I had, I think it was 6 sessions, so 6 weeks, and it was just someone to talk to. I was very reluctant,
of course,
because I thought talking to a random bloke or a random woman, what's what do for me. But it is nice to just have someone who doesn't know you. It's completely impartial what they're telling you, what they're kind of questioning. And that was my first sort of like glimpse at how to deal with mental health.
Yeah.
So I had those 6 weeks, and then I finished university, and I started to make progress, and then I had to go back to my regular life back at home.
Yeah.
Job. What am I going to do now for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And I felt a bit like having sort of like the rug just pulled from under me.
Yeah.
So that progress that I'd made had just gone completely back to where I was.
Yeah.
But one of the main things that from the conversations I was having with the counsellor was that my dad. So before I went to university, my dad had a heart attack,
Oh my God,
And
jeez.
I was in the house with my dad when it happened, and it completely just threw me.
Yeah,
But my dad is a very he doesn't he, well he never really used to like talk about feelings and stuff like that. It was very kind of like I'm a man, you
yeah,
know. He works in sort of carpentry and stuff, so he's
yeah,
very sort of, you know, masculine.
yeah. Old school. Yeah,
Yeah. And he was just like, no, like I'm fine, don't worry about me. I was like, I'm going to call an ambulance. He was like, no, don't. It's absolutely fine. I'm okay. Um, so I listened to my dad because I panicked and I didn't know what to do.
yeah.
And then it turns out he'd had a heart attack and he'd lost basically half of his heart was not functioning anymore.
Oh my,
Um, Lucky to be alive, to be honest.
it's
He's still going now.
insane.
Um, you know, he's still going strong, but the doctors said that if he'd have came in, they could have rescued him. They could have saved his heart. So I felt a lot of guilt in that.
That's really hard. That's really hard on
I
you.
was, I think I was about 15 at the time when it
Wow.
happened. So it's, yeah, you just, you know, nothing can prepare you for
No.
something
Oh
like
my
that.
God. No way. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was like the worst thing that could have happened at the time. Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I lived with that for a long time, really. Now I feel like I can talk about stuff.
Yeah.
I'm quite open about it, but it would be I'd watch TV, and if someone was having like a heart attack or something, it completely just triggered me, and I'd just blow up, and I'd be a mess.
Yeah. I mean, that is,
But
isn't it? Like, I always think that when people say that they go through something, you know, that obviously is a trigger. But that at such a young age is something else, ain't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it, yeah, it's as well like in my job at the moment. So I work with kids with trauma,
Yeah.
and for me that was trauma. I know it's not like the worst thing in the world
No,
that
but
could happen.
it is though. It is like, like your mind at that age as well is,
Yeah,
you're still learning. You're still, you're 15. You still got a lot going on. So
yeah,
yeah, 100%. And yeah, and as you say, if you're dealing with kids that are going through trauma as well, I mean, it's really nice because then they've got someone to kind of look up to, talk to, and you've been through
yeah,
it. It's really interesting. Your story is of the teacher side. We had someone on recently called Mr. Sneaks, and he was in normal education. He's just finished that, and he's going into like special needs and kind of that type of vibe. And he said he absolutely loves it. And again, it's that whole thing of, because he's obviously had kind of mental health issues and all that kind of stuff himself, that he can see it in his kids and anger issues, and he says it's brilliant. He said he absolutely loves it. And it sounds kind of similar to what you're doing.
yeah. It's yeah. I mean, when I worked in sort of mainstream, it's all very much like statistics.
Yeah.
Um, Sadly, it is that it's all based on exam results.
Yep.
Um, and being in that kind of situation, that atmosphere, I wanted to get out.
Yep.
I even like thought about giving up teaching completely.
Oh
It just
wow.
completely threw me.
Yeah.
The dropout rates for teachers at the moment is ridiculous.
Yep.
Sort of, I think it's those who train, sorry, and I think it's within 5 years, it's like half people.
Really?
So teaching itself is, it's not a great gig at the moment.
No, especially with COVID as well, because I think a lot of the time you guys got really slated, and I'm like, it's the same with like NHS. Like, I'm like, how
Yeah,
can you slate like teachers and NHS and all that with no one's ever had a rule book for this ever? They're playing things by ear. They're trying to make sure that the kids are still educated and still looked after in the best possible way, in the safest possible way, and people were still absolutely going to town on you guys. And I think it was awful, so wrong.
yeah, it was difficult going sort of being on the front line. Obviously, the panic with COVID, people were dying left, right, and centre,
Yeah,
and the thought of getting COVID and obviously like passing it on to my dad, who's only got half a working
yeah,
heart,
yeah, yeah,
kill him.
yeah,
So the panic of that every day, knowing that if I get COVID, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about me necessarily. Like, I think
Yeah.
I bounced back from it,
Yeah.
but it was just that sheer panic that sort of media and everyone caused.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, just I think, especially like I can only speak from like the sort of education side, but parents being stuck at home with their kids all day, trying to teach them, trying to get the work done. Then
Yeah.
a lot of people had that appreciation for teachers.
Yeah, of course. 100%.
Sorry,
Yeah, that's all
doorbell.
right. No worries.
But yeah, a lot of people just knew that, teachers, oh my God, is this what you have to put up with?
Yeah.
So it did help the relationships with parents a lot.
Yeah.
Some parents thought we were just bugging them, just
It's just mad though, isn't it?
just leave us alone. But sadly, education goes on. We had
Yeah.
people that, were still potentially could be doing their exams. So it was very,
Yeah.
very much still, well, we tried to keep things as normal as possible.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? And yeah, and that is the thing. It's again, there was no rule book for it. And no one knew exactly what was going on or what happened or anything. No one knew anything, So that, I think that was the that was one of the hardest things. It was, it was all new, everything was,
Yeah, I think as well. So a lot of people obviously have that social, when they've got something that's bugging them, or they're going for a hard time. It can be as easy as going to the pub to watch a game of football with some mates.
Yeah.
Obviously, COVID completely destroyed that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I think that I think looking back now, I look back at COVID and the whole lockdown. It's very much like 50-50. So yes, there were the horrible times when I was going to a job that was absolutely miles away that I didn't like. People weren't particularly supportive as well. So completely open with my mental health, and those days when, like you said, you can't get up. It was very much like, oh, okay. Well, what am I going to do now? All right. Oh, okay. Never mind then. And it was just, there was a lack of understanding.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
I think it's improving.
Yep.
I think a lot more workplaces are focusing on well-being and mental health and stuff, which is great.
Yep.
And then obviously there was the other half of it where I was playing Call of Duty. I was on Warzone for hours upon hours. Sat in the garden. It was lovely, like really sunny and hot.
It was amazing the first lockdown, right?
And
it
was just like, particularly, I'm not really a sort of wildlife kind of person, but just to be able to sit in the garden where it was just so bizarre. Like, it was like the end of the world. Like, there were no people.
Yeah.
It was just animals. It was like squirrels and birds and cats and dogs everywhere. It was like amazing.
It's mad. It is though. I always think, like, and you said exactly the same thing that I kind of say quite a lot on here, and it's these people that kind of had their social lives, as in going to the pub, watching the football, going out at weekends to nightclubs and parties and whatever. That wasn't me. But these people, they had everything stopped instantly, and then they had nothing. And I think for their mental health, that is so hard. And this is why we're now seeing a lot of mental health issues coming to the forefront because of all of this. But I really think that gamers, streamers, Discord. I know obviously you're obviously quite new to Discord now, aren't you? I suppose, because obviously I told you about so Discord and Discord servers. So I think were amazing for me, because I could always go into one of the Discord servers that I'm in, that I know I've got friends in from all over the world, and I could literally start talking to someone. And for a gamer and for someone that was going through, and I was going through my big deal. I was signed off literally about 2 weeks before lockdown, because I was going through, I had a panic attack at work. I'd already been signed off pre that, and then I had another panic attack at work, and they signed me off, and then literally, obviously, the lockdown came. So for me, in a way, lockdown was brilliant, because I didn't have to worry about oh my god, these 2 weeks are coming up and I'm going to have to go back to work. There was
Yeah.
no worry for me, which is brilliant. And then I had a social side of, obviously, online. It was an online social side, but I've had that for
Yeah.
quite a few years. So, I think for gamers and that, and places like Discord and and that, I think gamers were very lucky that we've already got this kind of social platform to use, where other people are then going, oh, should we try and do a Zoom meeting with family and friends and all that type of stuff. And
Yeah.
we've been doing it for quite a few years, obviously, on Discord. So I think you're right, it was a proper double edge of bad and good, I think, through COVID, for sure.
Yeah.
I really truly believe that. So, and we've kind of because obviously you mentioned about like counseling and medication, and because obviously I did very similar. I went to the doctors and they said, yes, you have. She was amazing though. Like, I cannot. My doctor was absolute. I've never seen her before. Never met her. I've never had to go to the doctors because, again, I'm one of them. I don't go to the doctors. I just get on with it. And and so I went to the doctor, spoke to this amazing doctor, and she was like, right, what we can do, do you want to go on medication? I was like, well, is it going to work? And she goes, well, I don't know. She was totally honest. Like, she weren't going to say, take these pills and you'll feel amazing. She goes, we don't know. You might have to change the dosage, might have to change the tablets, you might have to do other stuff on top of it. And then she mentioned about counseling and like meditation and mindfulness and all that kind of stuff, CBT, all this type of stuff, which I'd never heard of in my whole entire life. But she was really good. And I then said, yes, I would like to look at doing therapy. And yes, I'd take the tablets. And I'm actually still on the tablets now, after a few dosage changes and things like that. And, this is quite a while ago, and I'm still on them. I think I will be on them for quite some time. Therapy was very similar to what you had. Like, it was a great to start for me to start opening up and talking to someone. But then I think I got to a stage where it seemed like every week was exactly the same. And I was like, it seems like we're both not getting anything out of this. So it's like, I knocked it on the head and, that type of thing. And it was, so it wasn't for me every week. It wasn't, but I mean, it was brilliant to start me talking. So how about yourself now? Are you still do you take medication or therapy or mindfulness, or what's your kind of, I suppose, coping mechanisms, obviously apart from gaming?
Yeah. So I've been, I think like a big thing for me is that I've understood that it's not just a case of you take your medication and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's an evolving process where you will try medication. So I am on medication now. I've been on pretty much every sort of antidepressant and anti-anxiety, and all of them have the positives, all of them have the side effects.
Yes.
So I'm also, it's something that I've took a long time to accept, is that it doesn't matter if I'm on medication. Like, if I tell my friends and family now that I'm on medication, they are all very accepting, because they would rather have me on medication than like not have me at all. So, they do work, but obviously, as like the human body, gets used to ones, you have to change doses, and
exactly,
that can be a bit of a nightmare, especially with bipolar. If I'm very sort of pretty much like a roller coaster, it can be up and down, even within a day. But it's, I am medicated, so I have to take medication at night, which completely knocks me out.
Oh, really?
It's quite strong stuff.
Okay.
So it's a mood stabilizer, which it's not, well, it is still quite, they are quite strong. Unfortunately, so with having a newborn baby,
God, exactly.
I'm not able to do any of the night feeds, which my partner is amazing about, and she's completely, she takes one for the team and does all the night feeds, and I'm extremely grateful. But I do struggle in the morning, so because they are quite strong.
You feel a bit, I suppose, dozy a bit in the mornings.
Yeah, you're very much a zombie in the morning. So you're probably not going to get much out of me until sort of 8 o'clock, 7:30. So it's one of my things is energy drinks,
Yep.
which I've had times in my life where I've been completely like dependent on them
Right.
because
Okay.
when you're not medicated or the medication's not working, you're not sleeping,
Yeah.
you're not really eating, you've basically just got no routine in your life. It tended to be, I feel really tired, I feel really bad.
Yeah.
Energy drink that perks me up for an
Gives you a
hour,
pick you up. Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, then the drop hits
Yeah.
and you're back to where you were. But I do still drink them. I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't, but I think what I'm going to have to do is like have a medication review because
Yeah.
I need something, even if it's just a different one that can be released throughout the day.
Yeah.
And it isn't just the nighttime you're a zombie.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, yeah, it's quite funny it is quite funny the old and I think that is a depression anxiety thing where you feel tired, and obviously with bipolar I don't know because obviously I don't suffer myself, but with obviously anxiety, depression and all that, you struggle a lot with energy and all of that, and you do start going on to the energy drinks and getting you through, and it is really weird that you kind of bring that up. I actually used to be, I would have every day, but I still now have them every day, but I am on the powder form ones, so powder, water, which are still not great, but they are way better than any of the others. And I'm not going to name names, but they are way better than the others, and the crash is way less. Like I really do not feel a crash. So there are obviously alternatives like that, but again, it's one of them things. If you can get off them fully, great. But that's a but also as well, I think it's a habit as well. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way I look at it is there's plenty of worse stuff that
Oh
you
my
can do.
god, yeah.
So
Yeah.
plenty of recreational drugs and illegal stuff.
Yep.
But what's a occasional energy drink gonna do really?
Exactly. I agree. Yes, that's awesome. And then kind of, so started streaming. How are you finding it? Where are you streaming on, first of all? What platform are you on?
So I stream on Twitch,
Okay.
Predominantly. So most of it is I stream on Twitch, sort of around 7-8 o'clock at night for a couple of hours.
Nice.
And then it's sort of getting clips from the stream, and then going through TikTok that way.
Yeah.
But I've got like a newfound respect for streamers. Like, do you know what? I thought it was just literally you play games, you stream, people watch it, they comment, they follow you.
Yep.
You're going to get sponsored, and it just takes off from there. And it's like, I won't ever have to teach again because I'll be living the dream doing streaming. But God, it's so difficult. It's so up and down as well.
Yep.
So I've been doing it like 2-3 weeks. It's the awkward thing is, so because I'm quite introverted, it's quite difficult to be in front of a camera.
Yep.
And it's took quite a bit of. When I first started, like my very first couple, I just cringed.
Yeah.
And it was like, you kind of have to put yourself out there.
For sure. 100%.
Being very like introverted, I can't just suddenly
like
snap my fingers and I'm like a TV presenter.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. But it's just I've never kind of done it thinking I'm going to do it and I'm going to be TikTok famous and I'm going to I'll never have to work another day in my life kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a hobby.
Yep.
I've been very sort of realistic from the start. Obviously, there is that inside you that wants to just be like, yeah, come on, I want to blow up and I want to go viral.
Of course, yeah.
And it's the dream.
Yeah.
But there are days when you stream and especially like the first couple, and it was like, I don't know why I'm bothering. I don't know. No one's gonna watch.
Yeah.
You look at the viewers, and you've got like 2 viewers.
Mm-hmm.
One is my partner.
Yeah.
and one is me
Yeah.
on my laptop.
Yeah.
So it's like no one's bothering. Like, what's...
Yeah.
Then I started doing clips on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I started getting a few people following, a few people commenting.
Nice.
So not really that many negative ones. There are like a couple of negative ones, which, you know, I don't claim to be like a world-class gamer. I'm a very average gamer. I enjoy gaming.
Yeah.
It infuriates me because I want to be better,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I've never claimed to be like world champion of Fortnite or anything
Yeah.
like that. I'm very much sort of a bot, but but it's TikTok's been brilliant actually.
That's good.
I've had I've gone from after the first sort of 4 days or so, I had about 120 followers.
Amazing.
Which I thought was massive. I was like,
that's amazing.
What amazing.
Yeah.
Fast forward to now, sort of 2-3 weeks later, and I've just hit 1,500.
That's amazing. Like that's amazing. That's amazing. Because I know TikTok's quite like, it's good and it's bad. Like my TikTok's horrendous. I think I've only just like my personal, my gaming one. I think it's only just, but I was really late to the game, and I didn't then post every day, and I didn't do this. Like, obviously, what you're all supposed to do, and I didn't do a lot of stuff, and I've only just started doing in the last week or week and a half every day, and I see a difference already.
Yeah,
you know. So, and a few of mine have gone pretty crazy, which has been really good. But it's and I mentioned this on some of the other podcasts, that I had one that went crazy, and I think it's at the moment it's at like maybe 26,500, like something ridiculous. And but I was getting a lot of negative comments, but it's because of the amount of people that were seeing it. So that is the first time it actually kind of hit me, and then I didn't actually want to put a TikTok out the next day, and I was a bit down, and so it's really weird. So I think it's a great platform, but again, it's that one, you know, and especially like myself, I take things, and I shouldn't, but sometimes I think it's my fault. Something's happened, or like I'm like, you know, so if I'm talking to someone in Discord or we're playing a game or something, and they sound down or they sound a bit pissed off, I'm like, oh shit, what have I done? I always think it's me, not that they've had a bad day or not. And so then I always take comments the wrong way, even if they're not meant to be taken the wrong way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think if I wasn't a teacher, I think I'd be the same. I've developed quite a thick skin.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So you do get quite a few comments from kids.
Yeah.
No, I don't get as many as some do, but you do sort of develop that thick skin. But like you said, you can get. I've had maybe like 2 negative comments what have kind of got to me.
Yeah.
And it's that moment where you kind of just have to step away, because if I just react and just go back at them, that's what they want.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
You've literally played into their hand. So it's step away, go and get yourself, even if it's just make yourself a cup of tea, just something like that, or go and stroke the cat or the dog or whatever. It's just, once I do that, I then reassess it and think, do you know what? It's not on me. That, you know, you can say that I'm terrible at Fortnite.
Yeah,
I admit it. I am. But it makes me think, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I agree now, massively.
So, are you reaching out because you're
struggling
yourself, and you just don't know how to communicate that, or are you just a dick? I don't know.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's funny you say that. There was and I can't. Do you know, I hate it when you find a TikTok and then you can't ever find it ever again. And it was one of these, and it was a guy. He was a musician, and he was in a car, and he was just scrolling through some of his comments, and he had a comment from someone and said, the comment was like, "I hate your music," or something like that. And it's like, well, okay, thanks, you know, and he doesn't ever really reply to him, but he replied to this guy and it's like, thanks, and, you know, I really appreciate you telling me you don't like it, but he's like, what don't you like about it? you know.
Yeah.
And then it got talking, and then literally this guy got talking, blah blah blah, and it turned out that this guy was so he was going through issues. He just had, I think, his it was either one of his parents had just died, and he was going through some problems and all that kind of stuff. And then it was like, that was the issue. He actually loves his music, and that guy's music gets him through, the day. And it was just him lashing out, and it was really interesting. And now apparently this guy speaks to him every day, which is awesome. And I definitely believe that. I think people are going through something, and the only way they can lash out is to take it out on someone else, and then, either try and feel better because they get, a rise out of it, or I don't know, it's something like that. But, yeah,
I know the whole thing with sort of troll society. So, just there are people out there that just put negative comments out there, negative energy out there.
Yeah.
Again, you don't know if it's because they're going through things or because of they just want the fame, they want the reaction.
Exactly.
But the trouble is the whole keyboard warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So I had one person comment, and they were quite negative. It wasn't really like nasty or anything, but I just commented back and just said, look, can you think, before you put stuff, can you just think how someone is going to take what you've said?
Yeah.
You might think it's just a small comment.
Yeah.
But you don't know what they're going through. And he said, oh, no, don't take, I'm not taking it seriously. Like, it's just a joke. And I said, you don't know, though, if that's going to be the final straw.
Yeah, on someone. Yeah.
And then, someone does something horrendous.
Yeah,
and hurts
exactly.
them. Yeah. So it is just, you do kind of get used to it. I know it's not nice that as people who put stuff out there on the internet, we are very vulnerable that we put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
Because we want to either, raise awareness or, spread a message or, just have fun. But it is sad that we have to put up with things like trolls that, just, say horrible stuff.
100%.
But it's just kind of accepted that's
yeah.
That's part of, if you want to put yourself out there, that's what you got to put up with.
Yeah.
But
that's very, very true. This has been awesome, mate. Like, honestly, thank you so much. Like, we're just hitting the hour, and I don't want to keep you on for too much longer. So, I really appreciate it. Like, and honestly, reaching out and things like that. For me, the whole idea of the podcast was to get it out to people, so people could understand, people could talk to, like, people would then understand that actually this is happening to myself or whatever. And I realized things are slowly working, because obviously we got yourself wanting to come on and then spread the word about that, and which is just brilliant. So honestly, I really appreciate it. Like, really do.
It's been so good. I've been like looking forward to it all day.
Awesome.
People have been asking me, "Oh, are you coming online tonight?" I've been like, "No, I'm doing something. I'm doing the podcast."
Amazing.
So I've had quite a lot of people asking about, when's it on, and so they're all excited about it. So
perfect. That's what I like to hear.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
I don't want one of those cheesy people who goes on talk shows, brown noses, but no, just what you're doing is really positive, and that's what made me reach out. And I think if we build like a community like this, where we're not scared to talk about mental health, be it whatever you're going through, just people need to know that there are people they can speak to.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, thank you for having me.
Amazing. I always ask at the end, is there any last things you want to say? I know you pretty much said it there, I suppose, but is there any last bits?
No, just hopefully this blows.
Yeah.
We both get, famous, but no. No, just if we can make one person's day better, if it reaches one person it really speaks to them, that's it's done its job.
Definitely. 100%. Awesome.
Yeah.
All your links to that will be in the comments and descriptions anyway, so anyone can obviously jump on and see your TikToks, see your live stream, so that will all be on there anyway. If you want to hang around for a bit, I will be back. I will just kind of sign off, and but yeah, appreciate it, mate. So yeah, thank you very much.
No worries, thank you.
Guys, that was awesome. Like, honestly, I love meeting new people Like, and this is, this shows you kind of the reach that we're starting to get, and the people that are kind of interested about coming on and to talk about stuff. And as always, we always know it's good to talk, always. And this has made, I think, this is starting to go somewhere and starting to get people to realize, it's good to talk and etc. And mental health is not a stigma, men's mental health especially. But yeah, so as always, guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching, listening, wherever you're doing that on. Massive thanks to BipolarCola again, and as always, thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and look after your mental health, and we'll see you next time.